As of filming this video, it has been a very crazy morning and I feel like I look like a little bit of a hot mess, but I'm excited for this video. I've been looking forward to it. And I'm like, let's go ahead and jump right in. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. As I said, it has been crazy. In fact, my second oldest I found out has a virus that causes hives. Yay! Not very exciting. It can last up to 6 weeks. So it was sort of like, oh my goodness. I mean, he's okay. Doesn't have to be hospitalized or anything like that. And it's sort of like a game of Russian roulette where we don't know if anybody else, if they get the same virus, which is contagious, if they'll get hives. So we're just gonna hope and pray for the best. But let's talk about some fun things because I need some fun things to talk about this morning, and this prompt is so much fun. Shout out to my Patreon and channel members who came up with the suggestion, and if you would like to give top 5 Wednesday suggestions or get behind the scenes, I do like a monthly video just for them talking about real life updates, and it's pretty unhinged half the time. They're so kind, they're so patient. Then the links are down below to subscribe or sign up. So very thankful for all of their support. I will just say now that all of the suggestions for this month are actually, or prompt suggestions, are from Patreon and channel members. So let's go ahead and jump in. Wait, in case if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday, in a nutshell, basically each week I answer a prompt using 5 books, but in this case I do manga to reflect the said prompt. And today's prompt is books with flowers, or like covers with flowers. Like the cover design of the manga cover has to have flowers of some kind because spring is in like full bloom. I feel like my grandmother's flowers, like she planted a whole bunch of them this year, that they are all starting to bloom. There's a lot of them already in bloom and that have been. This was a fun just suggestion and fun idea, and I'm really excited. I thought to do something a little bit different in that rather than talking about books I have read, I thought I'd talk about the books I haven't read, because at the beginning of this year, I'm pretty sure I did a video about it. I talked about the manga that I wanted to read, that my goal for this year was to read all of the manga on my shelf. Do I feel like a reader needs to do this? Definitely not. The main and the only reason is because I wanted to show my husband I was reading the manga that I'm buying, and therefore in hopes that he would let me buy more when I've read everything on my shelf. That literally is my only motivation. Any other time, like whatever, but there's just so many good things that are coming out this year that I really wanted to accomplish that goal, and I am on that track to accomplish that. It is crazy. I think I had 9 or 10 series at the beginning of this year that I wanted to read. I'm down to 4. I'm down to library. Oh wait, I was about to start naming them, but I actually have all of them but 2 that I'm mentioning. So the 2 that are not going to be on this list today for this Top 5 Wednesday prompt was A Sentence of a Bookworm, which I did find flowers, but then something came in the mail today and I'm like, we are spotlighting it because I'm so excited. And the other one is Nikolai and the Traveling Demon's World, or Traveling Around the Demon's World. That's a 4-volume series, and A Sense of a Bookworm is still ongoing. And so those 2 are on my series list that I have, because I had 10 series that I own that are all completed except for one of them, and I hadn't read them yet. Well, one of them I'm featuring I have read, but anyway, we will get to that point. And then I have, I think when I counted, I have 20 individual volumes of manga that are unread that I have on my shelf. But I'm really excited. Hopefully that long ramble made sense. I guess it's sort of like an update of how my reading plans, my reading goals are going. They're going really well, and I'm very, very thankful because I didn't know if it was going to happen. I still have one of the biggest series left to read, and we'll go ahead and jump into that for volume 1, and that is Skip Beat, with 49 volumes in English, and it had a few different covers in the series that have flowers, so I thought I would just feature a few. This one doesn't have that many. This is volume 2, but I think our main girl looks really, really pretty here. Volume 50, or this is volume 8. I was gonna say volume 50 recently came out in Japan, and I have just been so excited seeing so much hype for it. I think it was in the top 10 best-selling manga for that week, and it's like for 50 volumes for a shoujo manga to be on the list. And I think maybe the creator had like a very brief hiatus, was like mind-blowing. You go, creator, that's awesome. Flowers on the side, I thought this one was a really pretty one as well. I love this cover. I love these pink jumpsuits so much. I wish I knew why they have them, what the premise is for these, and that's why I have to read it. I will admit, and this is a good time to mention it, not this Wednesday, so not this week, but next week. I don't know the date. I'll put it right here though. I'll put it right here in the corner. But that is when my official event for Lara's Read and Review Shoujo Spree is going to be happening all through month. There will be 3 rounds of voting, just like how there was last last year. Here's the details of how things went last year, what won and everything. We are on the final poll for manga to bring into this year's event. So if you haven't already voted, if you want me to include either Sailor Moon or Tokyo Mew Mew, I'll leave a link down below. Go vote for which of those you want to be in this year's event, because next week, next Friday, stay tuned. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of voting, and I'm very, very excited. There's going to be 30 shoujo manga up. But the reason I bring that up is because Skip Beat was in like the top 5 last year that had the most votes and almost won. I honestly legitimately thought that Skip Beat was going to take it all, or at least be in the top 3, because I reviewed the top 3 most voted shoujo manga that make it to the 3rd round. And Skip Beat deserves to be part of this event, but I really didn't want for it to win, and then I'd have to read 49 volumes of a series in a very small amount of time. I don't feel like that's fair to Skip Beat, and I really don't want to have like extreme readers burnout, because I still have to read 2 other series. So it's why I'm featuring it today, and that I was thinking of the event, and I really just want people to know, like, hey, Skip Beat should just be on that form that's going to be going for the voting, but I'm going to spotlight it today. I really want to read this series and have thought about including it part of that event, because I know if it wins, I'll definitely read it faster, but I don't want to rush myself reading this series. And I really love this cover too. I love the roses. It just seems so much fun. This was the last series of 2023 that I binge bought all of it. I think I actually bought some volumes in January with Christmas money that I received. Feel like I'm ready, but since my youngest kiddo, my 3rd kiddo, is going to be entering kindergarten this year, I sort of feel like this will be a great time to start reading it, because I know I'm going to miss her and feel a little bit sad, because it's the first time this mama here has been solo for quite some time. Look at this back cover. I love it. I love it. I have read some of the volumes as they've come in, like random spots, like not the full volume, but I don't know, I just would start reading it and it was just so much fun. So I cannot wait to read this. It's on my TBR. I will have a review sometime this year. I debated with myself of like, maybe I should wait till volume 50, because that feels like a good place to, like, you know, have a whole bunch. I'm like, Laura, you already have a whole bunch. You have 49 volumes. Just read it, girl. So no, Skip Beat's coming. I saw everybody that voted for this series last year. I've seen people who've talked about it, who love it. I will read it too. I will get on that hype train with you guys eventually. For number 2, I hope I say this one right. It's Eucharism. I have been curious about this series. This was not originally on my TBR at the beginning of the year. I did a manga swap with my friend Myubae, who's really, really cool. She's been doing a lot of gaming stuff, and I'm absolutely loving it, because for whatever reason, like one of my favorite kind of videos, I love watching video gaming. I was like, I feel really nerdy saying that, but I love it. I think it's so much fun, especially since I'm not the best at video games. So it's like a win-win for me. I'm like, oh, I get to enjoy this and like play the game through this person. So anyway, we did a manga swap. I forget what I think I sent her volume 1 of Shonen Note. And since she had this, I was very curious about it. It is a 4-volume series. I have struggled with wanting to get volumes 2 through 4, but I told myself, I have like, Laura, you got to read this first to know if you like it. Funny enough, this morning I was reading a little bit of it and it sounds really interesting. So this young man here, he is in high school, but he has very vivid memories of his past life of when he was a female consort. He uses those memories in modern day to write books, like write novels, historical novels that have those memories basically from his past life. And I think as he's living out his day-to-day life, he is meeting people that he knew in his past life, but he's not fully sure like who that person is. Female lead, I feel like she's somebody important from his past life. I don't know who she is though. I didn't read enough to know, but I am very curious. Is this like time travel kind of manga? I don't really know. Sometimes when he falls asleep, he'll then have these memories from, again, his past life. So I'm very curious of how it unfolds and what exactly takes place. Again, it's only 4 volumes, so it's not a huge commitment. It's not super high on my TBR, only because I want to get the other volumes. And I cannot remember if my library has the other 3 volumes that I need. I've just been sort of pushing it off because I'm like, if I love volume 1, I am going to be so impatient and not want to wait for the other volumes to come in the mail. I've been in limbo, but I hope to eventually read this. I love how beautiful this cover is. I love the flowers on the side and this vibrant pink. It's always been a very intriguing cover to me and a very lovely cover design. And it just worked out so well because of the flowers. And I feel like how vivid and bright the flowers are in in real life, that it's not necessarily, like, I feel like it's more muted on camera. But I look forward to reading this. I do know a few friends who have, and they said it was good. So I hope that I too feel the same way, even though my wallet will not be happy if I feel the same way. For number 3, look now, I try and not feature manga that I like featured the previous week in Top 5 Wednesday, but let me tell y'all something. Okay, let me tell you something. You guys may not feel that you influence me with your choices. Wrong. Today, I am debunking the myth that I am not influenced by commenters, by people who are like, Laura, like DM me out like on social media about it. You influence me. You influence me because look what I have. Wake Up Sleeping Beauty. Huge shout to Dawn who sent me this series. She gave me a deal, a bargain, and just thank you. If you're watching this, Dawn, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm so very excited. Yes, thanks to her, I have Wake Up Sleeping Beauty. I have the entire series. I don't have it with me. This is one of my favorite covers. I love the yellow. We do not have enough. I mean, I know no longer heroines right here, but I feel like in general, we don't, yeah, it's not on the spine. Anyway, in general, I feel like we do not have enough yellow on covers. I really, really love it. So I just think this cover is so beautiful with these flowers. Very, very excited. I almost was going to slide this in for my official event next week, but I reached out to my friend Maeve because Maeve's cool. And I was like, hey, I have this series. I'm like, would you be interested in buddy reading it? And she said, yes, I think you're going to love it. And I'm like, okay. So sometime in the month of May, we're going to be buddy reading this. I'm really, really excited. Don't worry. I will have a review. I'm sure I'll love it. I almost started flipping through volume 1 after I got the package and I was like, wait, Laura, stop. If you start now, there's going to be no holding you back. So I'm eagerly looking forward to finally diving into this. So many of you guys were like, this is my favorite series. I love this. You need to read it. You're going to love it. Like a whole long list of why I needed to read this series. And I am finally going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm so excited. And it's going to be physically, again, a huge shout to Dawn who reached out to me after last week's video and was like, hey, I have these volumes that's going to sell them. Are you interested? And I talked to my husband like ASAP after I saw her message. I was like, can I please buy this? Especially after I saw the comments. And so I'm so overjoyed, so excited. So again, friends, you totally influenced me with the things that I pick up. Okay, I just had to share that, had to make sure people knew that I get influenced too. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Can't wait to read it. Stay tuned. For number 4, this was originally not on my TBR at the beginning of the year either, and that is SA. My friend Marg at Marg Reads Manga, she had gifted me the first 5 volumes for my birthday. Whew, I have been on the fence in the sense, okay? I really want to start this series. I love this creator's other work that we have in English, Komomo Confisory, which I do have a review up on this channel if you're curious about it. I really, really loved it. So I feel high hopes that I will love SA. And that is why I'm nervous, because I only have the first 5 volumes. And I'm like, Laura, you're gonna want to get the rest of them. And I'm like, you need to hold it. Like, I don't know how many times since she's gifted me these first 5 volumes that I have put SA in my Amazon cart. Or if I saw used volumes, that I put them in that cart. And I was like, let's go get them. I'm like, no, you have not read the beginning. You have not read the beginning. Though, thankfully, I do think my library has a lot of, or the rest of the series. So I'm like, it's okay. Like, take a deep breath. No rush. No worries. Now, this one does not have as many flowers compared to the other manga volumes that I've shown thus far. But I still wanted to feature it because it's on my TBR. I don't know much about this one except for I hear it's like an enemies to lovers, but in a school setting. And these two are really hardcore rivals. I think the guy's like always number 1 and the girl's always coming in second place. And so she's trying to dethrone him. She's trying to get in first place and beat him. Things are just not super working out, I think, in her favor. It seemed really funny. So again, I feel like I have high hopes that I will enjoy this when I get around to it. Yes, SA is another one. May not be as flowery as the other covers I've shown thus far, but I still wanted to include it for this prompt. For number 5, I knew for sure that I definitely wanted to include this, and that is Library Wars. And I'm going to feature volume 10, which is one of my favorite covers in the series. I feel like, if I'm remembering right, except for like maybe 1 or 2, every volume cover has flowers on it, because I remember in a sidebar, because I read this series a long time ago. It was my first manga that I ever like purposely picked up as an adult where I knew it was manga. I borrowed it from my library, but yeah, in the sidebar that she mentions that she loves drawing flowers and always includes flowers on the covers when she can. So honestly, I feel like almost any cover for this series would work, but I love this one of Iku and Dojo. But I cannot wait to dive into this series. I will say this minor spoiler alert that this is part of my shoujo event, and I'm really excited. I hope it does really well. Even if it doesn't, I'm like, well, I'm still gonna read it because I love it, and it's the first manga that got me into manga, so I'm like, it has to be a must read. I hope that I love it just as much as the first time that I read it. It's been a few years. I think I read it in 2018, so it's definitely been a while, but I'm still, like the previous one with Essay, I have high hopes. I'm still gonna love it just as much because I've read the ending a few times, and just randomly, for whatever reason, I've read randomly other volumes, like different scenes, and I still really enjoyed it. Still love Iku and Dojo, so I think it's gonna be great. Yeah, this is one that I'm very excited to read this year at some point. Oh my goodness, for my honorable mention, I'm so excited for this one. Technically, this was not on my TBR originally, but it came in the mail today, and I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to it all day, like coming home from the doctor's appointment, I got the email saying, hey, it's arrived, like, oh my gosh, it's arrived. And that is My Sister Took My Fiance, and Now I'm Being Courted by a Beastly Prince, and it has flowers, so it totally works. Get your flowers here and here, and I'm very excited. I was really curious about this. I had already pre-ordered it, but then when the chapter 1 sample came out on Bookwalker, I was pretty impressed. I really thought our main girl here was going to be sort of naive because, as the title here says, her sister stealing her fiance has stolen past fiancés from her, and typically steals, at least it seems, everything from this sister here. And so I thought this sister would be very naive about things and would try and not sugarcoat things. Girl, no. You could tell that she has some bitterness. I don't think it was anger. I mean, I think she did feel some anger, but she definitely has some bitterness and some frustrations, and she knows exactly what her sister's doing. You know, her sister, like most of these, when it comes to this trope, the sister's overly nice. She cries all the time. She's winning everybody's favor. And our main girl here sees through all this. She's like, I know what you're doing. And the sister's like, well, don't I deserve these happy things? I'm like, oh man, no, girl, you don't. When you're stealing your sister's fiance and it's not the first one, you don't deserve these things. But I really hope I like it. And I was really excited. I was like, there's flowers on the cover. I'm like, I can feature it today. Actually, after filming this video, I plan to go read it ASAP because I'm like, I need to know. And it's a good chunk. It got a good chunk. I like the spine. Seven Seas did a good job. I always love when we have like the couples up at the top. Like, please, like, do that more often for, like, you know, all shoujo manga. But I hope things go well. I have not met the Beast, I don't think, or the Prince, I should say, he was not in what I read in the first chapter. I'm very curious to see how this unfolds because for whatever reason, I like reading this trope. I like seeing what will the main character do, because most of the time it feels like these main characters or these female leads, they do not retaliate in anger, and it's like, girl, you have every right to get your revenge. And it's like, that's not the first thing that they plan on doing, I guess you would say. Or if they're getting revenge, it's in a different way. So I think I like seeing that. I like seeing how can you be nice to this person when this person deserves to just have so many bad things happen to them. I know I shouldn't say that's really mean, but it's just really hard, like in real life and especially in a fictional sense as well. So yeah, gonna be reading this today. Very excited. And those are all of my picks for covers that have flowers on them. Very excited to read all of these this year. Very excited that my goals are coming to fruit. Like, oh my goodness, even though it's like, what am I gonna do when I read all of the manga on my shelf? Like, I don't know what to make of that, but I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some covers that you love that have flowers or make you think of spring? I would love to know. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!